Hi, everybody. So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about Scorpio season and how we're getting this extra boost of support with the eclipses that are also happening through Scorpio season. And this is like a really intense time. A lot of people are going through a lot of chaos. It's like tower, the tower energy, if you know the tarot archetypal symbolism, but a lot of people are telling me about just the situations that they're going through. And so I love Scorpio time. I've got a lot of Scorpio in my chart. Like, I just colored my hair dark brown yesterday just because I'm just feeling the medicine of going deep and getting dark and making friends with our shadow aspects and finding all of the goodness, all of the gold that we can shift, all of the dense lead we can shift into gold. That's the essence of being an energy alchemist. So right now, it's really quite simple. All you have to do is really get really clear with what is triggering you. What's showing up in your energy field? What's showing up in your life that's niggling or that's like chaotic? It can be a little niggle or it can be like a big shitstorm, Like, what's going on? Identify the situation, and then we can really tune into the story. What is the story you're telling yourself about it? Then that's going to be more of your like subjective experience. But then objectively, we can ask, okay, how am I identifying myself in this situation? Hi, Ashley, how are you? So I'm talking about when we get really triggered, depending on if it's small or big. We can really look at the story we're telling ourselves, the subjective story, and then get like objectively clear with how am I identifying myself in this role? How am I identifying myself with what's happening around me and what's happening internally with me? So sometimes it's like, I have to take care of everything. Like there's a lot of responsibility that falls on me. I have to be the one to clean up everything. Or it can be things are happening to me. I'm overwhelmed. Like, I didn't ask for this. So it could be very like feeling like a victim in situations. It can be it can be resentment. Like there's certain relationships in my life that aren't honoring me and I'm still showing up and I'm not being seen. So there's a lot of elements here, but when we get a little more tuned into how am I identifying myself in this situation and what would I like to see on the other end of it? How would I like to, what is my hero's journey in this problem? Okay, this is something that doesn't work for me. What's the ideal situation? Then we begin our hero's journey from the dense shadow led into the gold of being our own hero in our life. And so then we can kind of tune into what boundaries being crossed for me. What's not working? Where am I giving too much? Where am I pushing myself too much? Maybe I'm crossing my own boundary. Or how are people moving in on my space where it doesn't feel good? So then we get to work our energy grids, okay? So this is the really cool part that I really want to talk to. I'm so excited. So we have our own auric field, our energy field, okay? We can tune into the energy centers that are happening in our body. And just with the story, if it's a story around belonging, if it's a story about groups of people that we're trying to connect with, that's a root chakra energy center, okay? It's about belonging. It's about wanting to connect. It's wanting to have tribe in our life, to feel safe, to feel that protection from people around us. And it doesn't look the same in modern society, but it feels the same in our nervous system. If there's people around me who aren't safe, or if there's people around me who need me to be something different so I feel safe, that's a problem. That's a problem for, that's like an insult into my soul, in my alignment, in the life I'm trying to live. So if this is a situation, the medicine is about finding all of the elements that make you feel who you are. So that could be, there's so many aspects. So we have so many characteristics. Like if you love yoga, if you love a certain kind of music, if you love a certain kind of weird topic, like really taking time to engage in everything that helps you to feel a sense of belonging in your body and your soul, and paying attention to where that doesn't work with people around you, and really prioritizing your sense of self in negotiating with other people, not apologizing for who you are, and sometimes like not going to certain situations or showing up in certain situations in a different way. Is that okay? Like Ashley, you can tell me if I'm speaking very vaguely, but I'm trying to get really specific here too. So like if there's a shadow aspect, if there's something that's bothering you right now around feeling like you are doing a lot of things for other people and you don't get to spend a lot of time with what you desire. If there's things that you want to spend more time with how you show up in your desires. That's sacral energy center stuff. Okay. So the medicine is just taking it back, like doing what you desire, prioritizing what you desire, and noticing where the boundaries are. Where might you sacrifice what you desire for someone else's desire? Or who are the people who might want to shift the story into how we're being selfish for following our bliss, and they want us to negotiate ourselves in a way so they can have what they desire. And so we have to start setting, when we prioritize this and we're really like listening to conversations and understanding how we can hand over our power to other people. Ashley says, I love working out, yoga, ice baths. Yes, Ashley loves the ice baths. I love jumping in the Nahal. Ashley is asking me, I'm going to go to an ice bath place with her in a few weeks, or is it next week? And just spend the whole morning doing that, and it activates my soul. Yes. Ice bath and nervous system healing is the best. Yes, and it is. She says I know it's a service on others, a service to others. And the whole thing with honoring your nervous system and just showing up. If you're standing in line at the grocery store and the person in front of you has no understanding that there's like a line behind them, and you're regulating your nervous system for the people behind you, that's medicine. That is energy work, energy alchemist medicine. Okay. So we're but really soaking in, like, and even if I feel a little selfish because there's something I desire and there's other people in my life who need things and it feels draining, maybe, being a mom, sometimes, I get that. Like I have to show up for certain people in a certain way, but I do make sure that I assign time for my pleasure, for my desires, so I can show up and be a better mother, and I can show up in these relationships in a better way. But I'm not willing to sacrifice my pleasure and my desire because laundry has to be done. Like I'm not going to, I'll make sure I do the laundry too. But, just simple things like that. Sometimes we tell ourselves stories. Like I work with mothers, and there's so many women who really believe that they don't have time for themselves. That's just a fact. And so it's not my job to rearrange people's stories so much unless they want to work with me in a certain way, in a container. Like I love working with people for 5 weeks because that's a really good time to shift mental patterns and anchor it in the body and live in a different way. But in real quick conversations, I'm not going to tell someone that their belief and that the actions that they are doing in alignment with that belief is taking their power away. I'm not going to do that in a quick conversation. But this is the opportunity we have, because we're so sensitive. Like Scorpio's giving us the gift of sensitivity. And so there's things coming up that are bothering us. And so we have to tune into the energy center that they are connected to and start doing things in alignment. And it doesn't even say, if I desire to go back to college and I just can't really figure it out right now, maybe the step might not be to just sign up for college right now. Maybe the step is to hang out on my yoga mat and listen to vinyl records, because that's something that I love and that's something that I desire. So I'm activating my desire grid line. This is the point of this video, is how we can activate the grid lines in our energy field. And I start to support myself in little bits of my desire. I start to prioritize my desire in simple moments, and I activate that in my life so much, so I figure out how next fall I can make that happen for myself. I can go back to school and finish my degree. Okay? So, and another thing, I wanted to talk about the first 3 energy centers. So like personal power. And so if I feel like there's a lot of people in my life who feel entitled to take things from me or push me into things, talk me into things that I'm not comfortable with, and maybe there's a lot of negotiating of that. And maybe I'm having a hard time negotiating the conversation and the confrontation of it. But one thing I can do is start to practice with my personal power in ways. Maybe I need to go do like an Ashtanga yoga class, or maybe I need to get up early before the sun rises and watch the sunrise. Maybe I need to it could be anything that brings us into a place, sometimes like making a nice meal. For me, I'm talking about my specific examples, but just small things to activate my personal power grid line in my energy system and how it relates to the world. And doing things that activate the way I'm like, wow, where I can just be like, wow, I did that. I felt powerful. I did something that I wasn't sure, I took on a challenge and I completed the challenge. And the more I do that, the more I activate the power grid line in my life, then I can start having difficult conversations with people who challenge me. Okay, so these are just little bits of ways you can do energy work in your life. And all of the things, every time we do a little bit of something that makes us feel uncomfortable, we are working with our energy field. We are working with our frequency and how it relates to the world. And this is where the magic is. The magic is in the discomfort of it. That means we're growing. The magic is in the clumsiness and the not knowing. It's in the like, oh, I've never done this before. That's growth, that's grounding, and it's super magical. And it's an energy alchemist practice that you can do in every day, in any moment. And I want to invite you to just get really clear with the energy center that it's connected to, the way you're identifying with yourself, the things you're saying to yourself about yourself in certain situations, and how you can shift it to be in alignment with your highest good, with your highest self, and the goals that you have. And let's see, so like and the theme, like what spot, okay, story. Oh, and just understanding the story. Sometimes the stories that we say about things, we have certain narratives about certain things, and a lot of them are to keep us feeling safe. But I just want to challenge you to maybe like find an objective. Like maybe I am really subjectively feeling this story in a certain way and identifying with myself in a certain way, but maybe I can just pull out and become the observer in this situation with so much love and compassion for myself as I do this, but really just kind of understand what's another perspective I can take in this, so I can shift into more wholeness and alignment in my life. This is my bet. This is my little piece for the video today. And happy Scorpio eclipse season. If you're going through a lot right now, I'm sending you so much love and support, and I love this season because transformation is just it, like the hero's journey and all like the awkwardness. This is the gold. This is the goodness, and I'm here to support you with it. I'm sending you lots of love.